to the first of 4 videos for Competency 13 practice quiz. In this video, we will work with quiz questions related to Competency 13. Number 1, which one of the following is a secant segment? Okay, so if we look at each of these sections, we'll see that the only option we have actually is DE, because if you look here at DF, that's an external segment, and that's why that one will not satisfy. Okay, D to G is also this right here, that is also external, and DC is tangent. So our only option is A. All right, so let's go to number 2. Which one of the following is not necessarily true? Okay, now they have given us a clue by giving us these 90 degrees. I've seen a question very similar to this. It had a little more to it on a practice test at the university. Okay, you will not be given that clue of the 90 degrees, okay? So that being said, these are tangent lines, LM and LN. So what do we really have here? So let me get rid of this so it doesn't confuse. Okay, we have this and this are congruent, and this and this are congruent. Okay, so you know that PM and PN, those are the radius, so they have to be congruent. And then those two externals, because they're tangent segments, those have to be congruent, okay? So that will eliminate A, because it says not necessarily true. Okay, once we mark these, you kind of can visualize it, okay? LMPM, obviously I have them marked where they're not congruent. Now, if we squish the lines down, we could force them to be congruent, like change them around, but not necessarily. So I'm going to go with B in this situation. But let's look at this LM plus PM. Okay, so what you're doing with that one is you're going to add that side of the figure to those two segments together. Well, of course, if you do that and you go to the other side, then the green and the yellow have to be equal if you add them, because that's what they're saying is 1/2 of the perimeter around. Well, yes, that's true. And then, okay, so that's obviously true. So it's not an option because we're asking for not. And then LM perpendicular to PM. Well, the 90 degrees gives us a clue. Like I said, though, on a practice test, they won't give you the 90 degrees. You're just supposed to know. My opinion is they should always tell you those things to verify, but they don't because of the way the picture is. Okay. And I see what they're doing. Okay. So now let's go to number 3. All right. Number 3 says if KL equals 8, so let's label this KL equals 8, and JK equals 6.24. What is the approximate value of JL? Okay, so we'll call that X, okay? But one thing that we need to do is we need to add the entire length of JL, which of course equals 14.24. Okay? All right, that is important because that's how we are actually going to get our answer. Okay. Our X value, see our JM, that length of X, you square it, and you know that when you square it, that is equal to the 14.24 times the 6.24. So when you put all of that under the square root, that will be your value. Okay, let me write this out and we will put that in our calculator. Okay, second radical. Okay, so we have 14.24 times 6.24. Double check my numbers, push enter, and we have the value. So it's option A, which is correct. Okay, let's go to number 4. Okay, number 4, if DE equals 8, okay, DE equals, oh no, excuse me, 9. 9, and EF equals 12, and HD, okay, equals 18, what is the approximate value of GH? Okay, I am going to highlight that, right? Because we need to first find X, okay? And we know that, okay, first we know to get GH, we need to take 18 minus X. So we have to find the value of X. Okay, so we know from before that we have to, here, let me do this, that 18 times X is equal to, let's come back over here, and we have to add these two values together, which is 21. Okay, so that means that 9 times 21, those equal. Okay, so 18x equals to 9 times 21. Divide both sides by 18. Then x equals, put that in the calculator. Wow. 9 times 21, divide by 18. And because we are on, let's say, per se, same level of order of operations, you can put those all in together. Okay? And that is 10.5. So we have 18 minus 10.5. Well, I can tell that that equals 7.5. You know what? When you're taking a test, don't trust your mental math. You get tired, you get frustrated, and you start worrying about the questions that you had to skip or you weren't sure about. So go ahead and put it in the calculator anyway. 18 minus 10.5. And we have verified. Option C is our answer. Okay, now number 5. If VL is 2, this one is 2, and LY is 5, so this is 5, okay, and XL is twice as large as WL, what is the value of WL? Okay, that means we're going to say WL is X and XL is 2X. And we can solve this algebraically because we know that when you have the two segments crossing and intersecting inside of the circle, you take the little segments of each one. Okay, so let me just go ahead and lay it out for you. Okay, this is what we have. 2x times x equals 2 times 5. Okay, now that means we have 2x squared equals 10. Divide both sides by 2. This means that we have x squared equals 5. Okay, now we will square both sides. Okay, this means we have x equals, or I'm going to go ahead and put square root of 5. And then that is going to be kind of equal to, I'm feeling it'll be option A. Let's go ahead and put that under the square root. Under the radical, we have 5. And yes, we're going to have to round a little, of course. And that's option A. Okay, this is the last video for this first section of your quiz questions. Remember, like us, share us, and subscribe to keep us online and free. Happy testing!